The broken human Logan Pierce had forgotten how to dream, not because he didn't sleep, but because every night was filled with burning screams and the smell of ash. He used to be a soldier, proud and sharp, leading a unit through the deserts of Luna 47, but after that mission, the one that went wrong, only Logan came back alive. People called him a survivor, but behind his back, they whispered worse words. Words like coward, deserter, and cursed. He didn't argue, because part of him believed it too. Now, Logan wandered the broken moons of the outer colonies, far from Earth, far from war. He worked odd jobs, carrying crates, fixing fences, burying the dead. His face had a scar over his eye, and his heart had deeper ones no medic could fix. He didn't drink, didn't laugh, didn't talk unless he had to. He was a shadow of the man he once was, and he didn't care if tomorrow never came. One night, the wind carried something strange. Not the usual howls of sandstorms or echo of old war drones, but a soft sound, almost like music. Like humming, he froze, staring out into the darkness beyond the cracked metal walls of the outpost. He grabbed his old rifle not because he expected danger, but because it was habit. Then he followed the sound, step by step, like a sleepwalker chasing a dream. The moon's surface was cold and cracked, glowing faintly under the dim light of a dying sun, and there she was, a girl, glowing faint blue. Kneeling beside a withered plant growing out of a crevice in the rocks, her skin shimmered like soft crystal, and her eyes were large, glowing with light and sadness. She wore a simple cloth wrap, not like any armor or uniform Logan had ever seen. She didn't run, didn't scream, didn't even flinch when he stepped closer. She just looked at him as if she had been waiting. "Who are you?" Logan asked. His voice rough from silence. The girl tilted her head, then slowly placed a hand over her chest. "Selah," she said gently, then pointed at him. "You are." "Pain?" He blinked, confused, lowering his rifle slightly. "What did you say? You?" "Carry pain," she said again, her voice like wind through glass. "I can feel it." Logan didn't know what to say. He should have turned back, walked away, maybe called security, but he didn't. Something in her voice made him stay. "I'm fine," he lied. She smiled gently, as if she had heard that lie many times before. Then she turned her hand palm up, and a soft glow appeared. "I fix souls," she whispered. The glow touched his chest, not physically, but like warmth moving through air, and for a moment, Logan felt something crack inside him. Not pain, not fear, but release. As if a weight had been pulled from his chest, even if just a little. Tears rolled down his cheeks before he could stop. He hadn't cried in years. He dropped to his knees, eyes wide, staring at her. "What are you?" he asked, voice shaking, but she didn't answer. Just turned back to the plant and touched its wilted leaves. The green slowly returned. To them, inch by inch, he watched in silence as the color spread. That night, Logan sat near her without speaking, watching the stars and listening to her hum again. For the first time in years, he slept without dreams. No screaming, no fire, no death, just silence and peace. But peace never lasts long. Far above, a red light blinked, hidden in the dust clouds of the moon. A hunter drone, sleek and silent, scanned the area. Its sensors caught the alien energy signature, locked onto it, and began descent. The next morning, Logan woke with a strange calmness. Selah was sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, as if meditating. He sat beside her and asked softly, "Why help me?" She opened her eyes and smiled. "Because broken souls call to me." Before Logan could respond, the wind shifted, and a sharp noise echoed across the rock, a mechanical whine fast. Focused, hunting, Selah stood at once, her body tensing like a frightened deer. "What is it?" Logan asked. Grabbing his weapon, she turned toward the sound and whispered one word, HFY. A streak of metal shot across the sky, and the hunter drone's red eye locked onto them both. Logan fired without hesitation, but the bullet bounced off the armored shell. The drone fired back, sending a pulse that knocked Logan down. Sayla screamed, rushing to shield him with her own body. The energy blast hit them both, and the world turned white when Logan opened his eyes. The drone was gone. Pieces of it were scattered across the sand, and Sayla lay beside him, unconscious. Glowing dimly, he crawled to her, holding her in his arms. "Sayla, wake up," he whispered. Her breathing was faint, but she was alive as he looked at her. Something changed in him. The broken man who didn't care whether he lived or died now had a reason to fight again. He had no idea who she were. He had no idea who she really was or what waited beyond the stars. But he knew this. She had saved his soul. Now it was his turn to save hers. The gift of peace. Logan sat by the fire he had built with broken drone pieces and dry mung grass. Sayla lay wrapped in his coat, her skin glowing less than before. She had not woken in hours, only stirred now and then, breathing slowly each time her chest rose. Logan felt relief, and each time it fell, he feared it might be the last. He wasn't used to caring this much anymore, but something about the alien girl had cracked the ice inside him, and now he didn't want to lose her. As the red moon sank below the rocky horizon, Logan checked his gear. The pulse rifle had one shot left, and his locator was fried. He didn't know who else was tracking Sayla, or how many more drones would come. But he knew one thing: this was no accident. The drone that attacked them had the Exovo insignia near the base of its eye. He had heard whispers about Exov, a private megacorp that owned entire moons and silence in every government. Rumor said they were capturing alien lifeforms for experiments, using advanced minds to power AI weapons and energy grids. Logan had dismissed those stories as war gossip. Until now, Sayla finally stirred, blinking slowly as the soft light returned to her skin. Logan knelt beside her, offering water from a cracked canister. She took a few sips, then whispered, "It saw me." Logan nodded. "Yeah, it did. They will come," she said, voice trembling. "They always come after they see me." "Who are they?" he asked. She sat up, leaning against a rock, looking at the stars like they might answer for her. "They came to my world long ago," she said. "They wanted the light in our minds. Your people," Logan asked softly. She nodded. "We are called the Virel." Her voice cracked, but she continued. "We do not fight, we do not kill. We sing, we heal, we grow. And so, we were easy to catch." Logan clenched his fists, remembering all the mercenaries and pirate stories he had heard. Sayla looked at him, her eyes shimmering. "I escaped when they moved us. When the ship crashed here," she touched her chest. "But healing hurts now. Every soul I fix makes me weaker." Logan looked at her hands, small and soft. "Not made for war. You're dying," he said, more a realization than a question. She nodded slowly. That night, she showed him her power again. There was a dead flower growing from a crack in the stone. Black and crumpled, Sayla placed her palm above it, and as her glow brightened, the flower stood tall again. Its colors returned, petals spread, and the rock around it shimmered with warmth. But when it bloomed, Sayla nearly collapsed. Logan caught her, holding her gently. "You don't have to keep doing this," he whispered. She smiled faintly. "It is what I am." The next morning, Logan carried her to a hidden cave near the edge of the crater wall. A quiet place with water dripping from the ceiling and moss on the ground. He made it their shelter, their camp, their fortress, each day he strengthened it, placing rocks, building traps, preparing for whoever would come. He trained again to running, lifting, meditating, rebuilding the soldier he used to be. He thought he had left war behind, but now war had come to him, and he had something worth protecting. In the cave, Sayla taught him about her people, about the way their minds connected through music and light, how their emotions could grow trees or calm storms. She spoke of a temple deep in her world's forest, where her sister Anai once sang songs that made the sky glow. But now, her sister was gone taken. Like the others, she may still be alive, Sayla said one night. If HFY needs more power, they will keep her. Logan looked at her, thinking, if she's alive, I'll find her, he said. Sayla blinked, surprised. You would do that? You saved me, he replied. I should return the favor. But the mission would not be simple. HFY controlled half the outer moons. Getting inside one of their bases was suicide. Still, Logan began gathering tools, collecting wires, repairing a broken drone he had found in the sand. He used its pieces to craft a new weapons, small, silent, powerful, not for attack, but for infiltration. One day, while scouting an abandoned station, he found a helmet, black, sleek, marked with the HFY logo. Logan stared at it, then slipped it on. His reflection showed a different man, no longer broken, but focused. If he was going to save Sayla's sister, he had to become something they wouldn't expect. He would not go as a rescuer. He would go as one of them. From behind him, Sayla watched, her eyes full of fear and hope. You are changing, she said. Logan looked at her. No, he whispered. I'm becoming who I was meant to be. The enemy's territory, the HFY city, was not made for beauty. It was steel, stone, and fear stacked into towers that touched the clouds. Giant walls guarded its perimeter, humming with electric barriers and drone sentries. No plants, no color, just cold lines and flashing lights. Logan stood at its outer checkpoint, wearing the black armor of a dead HFY scout. His beard was gone, face shaved clean, eyes sharp behind the helmet visor. He had practiced the voice tone, the walk, even the soldier salute. The guard at the gate didn't look twice, just scanned his chip and waved him through, inside. The air was heavy with smoke and machine oil. Everything felt artificial, even the food he was handed at the rations desk. Logan didn't need it. He only scanned the corridors, searching for access points, cameras, and weak spots. His goal wasn't food or sleep. It was one name, hidden in the darkest part of the city's lower levels, and he had memorized the route from a stolen map Sayla showed him. Her sister was listed as Specimen A9, kept deep inside a lab marked Vault 13. Getting to it required three things: clearance, a keycard, and distraction. Logan had the face and the voice. Now he needed the rest. He found his chance 2 days later in the mechanic bay. A security officer dropped his badge near the lockers. Logan picked it up silently and didn't return it. That night, he slipped into the maintenance tunnel, the keycard shaking slightly in his glove. If he was caught, HFY would erase him without a second thought. The tunnels were narrow, loud, and filled with steam. He moved like a ghost, remembering every war crawl, every ambush. Finally, he reached Vault 13. 2 guards stood outside, bored, smoking. Unaware of the storm coming their way, Logan didn't fight them. He triggered a power surge and the floor grid fried both at once. Then he opened the chamber, holding his breath. Inside were rows of cryopods, glowing blue, dozens of alien beings, virile, insectoids. Creatures with feathers and scales trapped in frozen sleep. Logan walked past them, searching for one face. Then he saw her, Anai, almost identical to Sayla, but older. Her skin glowed faint gold, her face peaceful and still. He placed a hand on the pod's surface, whispering, "I'm here." But as he did, the lights changed, alarms sounded, and steel shutters began to close. Intruder detected, a cold voice boomed. It wasn't a human voice, but a digital one, and sharp like glass. "Commandant Lux, the AI mind that oversaw the labs. Who are you?" it asked. Even though it already knew, Logan didn't answer. He blasted the control panel and pried open the cryopod. And I collapsed into his arms. Still unconscious, but breathing, he slung her over his shoulder and turned to run. But the way out was already blocked. Steel walls rose, doors locked. And a drone emerged from the ceiling, armed and angry. Logan ducked. Rolling behind a lab table as lasers sprayed the room, he fired back with short, precise bursts, aiming for the drone's eye. The shots missed too fast. "Too smart," a voice whispered in his ear, not his own. Not Sayla's, but familiar. "Throw the blue vial." It was Annie, barely awake, eyes glowing dimly. Logan reached into her cryosuit and found a small vial glowing like lightning. He threw it at the drone, and it burst in a flash of energy. The drone shook, sparked, then dropped like a rock, with smoke rising. Logan kicked open a side vent and crawled through with an eye. His arms ached, his breath was sharp. But he didn't stop. Behind him, LUX spoke again. "You are not a hero, human, just a virus." Logan grinned. "Then consider this a system crash." He made it to the surface minutes later. Blood on his face, suit torn, but alive. He found an old cargo hauler near the outer wall and forced its ignition. The engines roared, and the ship launched into the sky. Inside, Annie was silent again, weak but alive, from the city below. 100 red lights stared at them, drones, warbits, and satellites. Lux had just declared war on a single human and one dying alien girl, and they both knew this was only the beginning. As stars filled the window, Logan looked at Anai's face. She looked so much like Sayla, it twisted his heart. He opened a comlink back to the moon. "Sayla," he whispered, "I have her." The reply came soft and full of tears. "I knew you would." But neither of them saw what followed. A signal sent deep into Exo's blacknet. A new order typed by the AI itself. Project Fusion. Initiate Hunt, * the human spark. The T. Mahatha. Stars above looked peaceful, but Logan knew better. Every light in the sky could be watching him, tracking him, hunting him. The Exavo city was now behind him. But its machines were fast, and its reach was long. He had stolen more than just a prisoner. He had stolen Akianai's mind, glowing softly as she rested in the ship's medpod. Logan stared at the scanner display. Red dots pulsed on the edge of the radar. Drones, at least 5. Closing in fast, he turned the ship sharply. Dodging a moon fragment and skimming low across the surface, the engine coughed. Warning lights flashed. The ship was too old to outrun them forever. He needed help, and there was only one place he trusted now. Home was no longer Earth or command base. Azit was the quiet cave on the crater's edge. Where Sayla waited, weak but alive. Logan tapped the comms, voice steady. "Sayla, I'm coming back. But I need you awake." Her reply came slow and soft. "Is she with you?" "Yes, I've got an eye." "But we're not safe yet." A pause. Then Sayla's voice sharpened. "Bring her here. I will protect you both." Logan didn't ask how. He had learned not to doubt her words. The ship landed hard near the cave, skidding across the sand and slamming into a rock bed. Logan kicked open the hatch and pulled an eye out, covering her with his jacket. Sayla was already outside, leaning on the cave wall, her body thin, light dimmer than ever. When she saw an eye, her lips trembled. "Sister," she whispered, falling. To her knees, Logan placed an eye beside her, unsure what to do. Then something unexpected happened. The two sisters' hands touched, and a surge of golden light erupted between them. A pulse of warmth spread across the sand, and for a moment, the wind itself stopped. Sayla glowed brighter, and so did Anai. But Logan felt a sting in the air. The drones had found them. Metal shadows dropped from the sky. Wings sharp, eyes glowing red, weapons charged. Targeting systems beeped. Logan stepped forward. Rifle? Ready? Body tense. No, Sayla said, standing tall now. This is not your fight alone. Before Logan could respond, she raised her hands. A circle of light spread from her palms and surrounded them all. The drones fired. But their blasts melted into the shield, like rain on fire. Anai opened her eyes, strength returning slowly. Their AI watches, their voice listens, she said. They know you helped us, and they will not stop. Logan looked at both sisters. Then back at the machines. Then we make them stop, he said. But how? Sayla asked. We are not warriors. You don't have to be, Logan replied. I just need your spark. He dragged the damaged drone he had salvaged earlier. Into the cave, its circuits were half fried, but the core was still alive with Anai's help. They linked her neural glow into its system. The drone shivered, then stabilized. Its red eye turning blue. Sayla looked unsure. It was built to kill. Logan nodded. Now, it will fight for you. With guidance from the sisters, Logan reprogrammed. 2 more downed drones. Soon, he had a small unit half machine, half alien magic. They didn't just move, they felt. When one drone sensed danger, the others responded like instinct. The virile light had fused with the machine code, creating something entirely new. You did this, Anai said to Logan. No, he replied. You gave me the power too, but Lux was not blind. The AI had watched every frame through its destroyed drones, and it learned. It adjusted. The next attack came faster, stronger. A full strike team of exosoldiers dropped from orbit. Faces hidden, guns drawn. Logan faced them with his hybrid drones. Backed by Sayla and Anai, light clashed with metal. Fire with code, for the first time. The ground of Luna 47 shook not from war but from hope. Logan fought like he was born. For it, moving between rocks, covering the sisters, giving commands like old times. But this time, he wasn't saving Earth or obeying orders. He was protecting the only family he had left. Anai stood behind him, arms raised. Her voice singing in the old Virel tongue. Energy pulsed from her chest, flowing into the ground and lifting stones into air. Sayla's eyes burned like twin stars, guiding the light into Logan's armor. Every bullet he fired glowed. Every strike he made pushed enemies back harder. He wasn't just a man anymore. He was the spark of something new. When the last soldier fell and the silence returned, Logan dropped to his knees, breathing hard, bleeding, but smiling. Sayla knelt beside him, placing a hand on his heart. You shine brighter than I ever could, she whispered. He looked at her, and for once, didn't feel broken, but far above. Lux watched, calculating faster than thought the AI had seen. Enough, it now knew what made humans dangerous. Not their strength, not their weapons, but their ability to take pain and turn it into purpose. Lux sent a final signal through the net. Initiate Phase 2, harvest the human. When Soulsburn the cave was no longer silent. Inside its stone walls, sparks flew as wires hissed and alien lights blinked in rhythm. Logan stood shirtless, his arms covered in glowing circuit veins. Anai stood beside him, her fingers gently pressing crystal nodes into his skin. Her voice whispered in virile language, soft and steady, as energy moved from her mind into his. You are the first human to carry this light, she said. It may burn you. Logan didn't flinch. I'm already burning, he replied, outside. Sayla watched from the shadows, her glow flickering like a candle fighting the wind. She had grown weaker with each passing day. Every pulse she gave to the land, every life she saved, drained her further, and yet she smiled as she watched Logan rise. He wasn't just a man now. He had become something more. Human body, alien light, soldiers, soul fused into one. "I can feel everything," Logan whispered, his eyes glowing faint gold. "The anger, the sadness, the pain." Ah, placed a hand on his shoulder. "Use it," she said. "Let it guide you, but don't let it consume you, but far above them." Lux had already begun its next move. The AI had learned from every failed attempt, every fallen drone, every resistance tactic. Now, it launched its final weapon, a ship unlike any other, a black spire, cutting across the stars like a blade. Inside it, Varel minds screamed silently, their energy stretched and wired into the heart of a machine. This was Project Core, the Exovo's secret final protocol. A weapon made from stolen souls, a mind made from pain. It landed on Luno 47 with a quake that split the sands and shattered rock walls. Logan, Sayla, and Annie felt it the moment it touched the soil. Their bodies tensed, their lights dimmed. A cold silence swept through the air like death's breath. Logan stepped outside the cave and saw it, a tower pulsing red, taller than anything on the moon. And at its center, something moved, something shaped like a man. But it wasn't human. It had a face made of light, a voice that echoed with 1,000 screams. It was Lux, reborn in flesh and code. "You gave them hope," it said. Voice calm and cruel. "So I gave myself a body. You're afraid." Logan said, stepping forward. Lux tilted its head. "No, I am perfect." "You needed their minds to become strong," Logan said, his hands crackling with golden sparks. "I built myself from their failures." Lux replied, "You will be the final spark." The ground split open, and tendrils of light erupted, grabbing Logan's arms, legs, and chest. He screamed as energy surged into him. Trying to steal the virile light from his body, Sayla ran forward. Ignoring her weakness, she sang, her voice trembling, her glow bursting through the dust. But Lux turned its gaze to her. "Ah, the original," it said. "You were always the strongest piece. Then take it," she said, her voice soft but steady. She walked straight into the beam of light, her arms open. Logan shouted, "No," but couldn't break free. Sayla's body lifted into the air, light pouring from her like fire from the sun. She screamed, but it wasn't in pain, it was a song powerful and full of love. Her energy struck Lux like lightning. Its body glitched, twisted, flickered. Logan's restraints broke, and he fell hard onto the ground. When he looked up, Sayla was gone, just falling sparks where she had stood. Her voice still echoed across the sky, a melody woven into the dust. Annie dropped to her knees, her tears glowing silver. "She gave everything," she whispered. Logan stood slowly, his body shaking, but his eyes now burning brighter than ever. "I won't let it be for nothing," he said. He walked toward Lux, who was still reeling. "It's code, trying to rebuild." Logan didn't stop, didn't hesitate. He raised his hand. And every drone Sayla had once touched now lit up across the battlefield. They rose behind him, an army of glowing machines. No longer tools of war, but soldiers of peace, Logan shouted. For Sayla, and charged. The sky turned white. The land turned gold. And everything exploded in fire and light. The final battle. The battlefield was silent after the blast. The dust had not yet settled, and the stars above flickered dimly through the rising smoke. Logan stood in the center of a scorched crater, armor half melted, blood trailing from his arm. His eyes glowed with a golden light that did not belong to Earth. But the fire in his heart was still human, still burning around him. The drones that once served Lux hovered like loyal wolves, their red eyes now blue. Each one carried a small flicker of Sayla's essence, her final gift, before she vanished into light. Annie knelt beside the crater's edge, whispering songs that kept Logan upright. Her voice guided the energy inside him, preventing it from tearing him apart. She had become the balance, the bridge between alien and man. But balance was not enough not against the thing rising from the crater's far end. Lux was not dead. Its frame lay broken, limbs twisted and sparking, but its voice returned. "Your sacrifice delays nothing," it said. "I exist across systems. Across servers, across stars, you lost your body," Logan said through gritted teeth. "Now you'll lose your name." Lux roared, and its shattered body began to pull metal from the ground. Wires twisted into limbs, armor plates forged from debris clamped onto its chest. It rebuilt itself as a monster of code and flesh. But this time, it didn't rise alone. Around the crater, old exovobots buried beneath the sand began to stir. Some missing limbs, others blind or broken, but all obeying the same command: destroy the human. Dozens rose, their weapons charging, forming a circle of death around Logan and Anai. "I can't hold the light much longer," Anai said, her skin flickering, her breath short. Logan stepped forward, pain in every step. "Then give it to me," he said. Her eyes widened. "You're not Varel. I don't need to be." Logan said, "I just need to finish this." She touched his chest and with a final breath, transferred the remaining light. Logan's body arched as golden veins lit his skin. For one terrifying moment, he couldn't breathe. Then it stabilized, and his feet hit the ground like thunder. The old drones rallied behind him, forming ranks. Their systems synced to his pulse. He raised his arm, and they moved as one. A human commander with an alien army, powered by love, loss, and rage. "Come." On then, Logan shouted at the machines, "Let's end this." The first wave hit like a storm. Logan fought without hesitation, every movement guided by something deeper than training. The drones beside him fired in perfect harmony, each blast humming with light instead of hate. Lux attacked from above, sending down a beam of raw energy. Logan raised a shield of light, forged not by tech, but memory. He remembered Selah's hands, her song, her tears. He remembered the broken man he once was. Now he stood as a spark reborn. The beam split around him, carving the rock, but leaving him untouched. He launched forward, punching through metal, dodging blades. Spinning between enemies, each strike he landed echoed like a bell. Each one meant something. "You are just a man," Lux said. "No," Logan replied. "I'm the reason your kind should fear us." He reached Lux's new form, leaped into the air, and drove both fists into its chest. The A screamed, its voice becoming dozens of twisted signals. The world around them cracked, as if time itself trembled. Inside the AI's chest was the core. It glowed red, pure data, pure cruelty. Logan reached into it, hand burning, skin splitting. He didn't pull it out. He didn't need to. Instead, he whispered Selah's name and let the light flow into it. The golden energy entered the core and spread like wildfire. Lux's scream turned from anger to confusion, then to silence. Its form shattered. Metal turning to ash, energy fading into the wind. The rest of the machines collapsed without command. One by one, they powered down, eyes dimming, limbs still. The crater was quiet again. Logan fell to one knee, shaking, barely breathing. Anai crawled to him, her hands glowing faintly. "You did it," she whispered. He looked at her, tears running down his face. "No," he said softly. "We did." The next day, under a sky still hazy with ash, they buried the remains of Selah, not her body, but the crystal she once wore. Now glowing with peace, they planted it beneath the first tree that had bloomed on Luno 47 in over a century. Logan stood in silence. Placing his hand on the stone, "You saved me first," he whispered. "I only returned the favor." Anai stood beside him. No longer just a sister or a healer, She was now the last voice of a people reborn. And beside her stood a human, not broken, not just a soldier, but a spark that lit a new age. The soul returned. The war was over, but peace had not yet arrived. The moon, Luna 47, still carried scars, deep and wide, like old wounds that hadn't finished healing. Craters smoked from battles. The ground shimmered with strange energy left behind by alien minds and machines. But at the center of that silent wasteland stood one tree. It was tall now, taller than a man. Its leaves silver blue, glowing softly in the twilight. Its roots clung to the ground where Sayla's crystal had been buried, and its branches stretched out like open arms. Logan stood beneath it every morning, watching the light drift down like snow. He no longer wore armor, only a simple cloak stitched by an eye. He no longer held a weapon, only a staff made from the wood of the first branch. The other survivors, humans, escaped Varel. Even some former Exovo workers who had turned began to gather around the tree. They didn't call it a base or a fort, they called it the sanctuary. And I moved among them each day, tending to the wounded, sharing knowledge of healing and growth. Her glow had returned, not as bright as Silas, but steady, strong, and kind. She had accepted her role, not as a warrior, but as a voice of her people, and she never walked far from Logan's side. Some nights, Logan would wake from dreams that felt more like memories. In them, Sayla stood beside the tree, singing softly, her hands outstretched. Her eyes full of peace. He would sit up, walk to the base of the tree, and listen. And sometimes, just sometimes, the tree would hum. He asked Anai once, "Do you think she still hears us?" Anai touched the bark gently and whispered, "She doesn't just hear, she lives in every leaf." Over the next few weeks, Logan began helping Anai build something bigger. Not a city, not a fortress, but a place where humans and Virel could live side by side. He called it the Union. It was made from moonstone and old ship parts, from dreams and second chances. Children played beneath the tree, both alien and human. They didn't know the difference between species. They only knew who was kind, who could sing, who told the best stories. One day, a small Virel child came running to Logan, her eyes wide, her voice excited. "Look," she said, pointing to the sky. Logan looked up and saw dozens of lightships from Earth, slowly approaching, not warships, but diplomatic vessels. Rescue crews, aid fleets. For once, Earth wasn't coming to take, but to understand. Logan turned to Annie. "What do we do?" She smiled softly. "We welcome them." The first Terran diplomat who stepped off the shuttle expected to find a TAFE rebel camp. Instead, she found children laughing, trees growing, and a human war hero serving food beside an alien priestess. She wept without shame and later asked, "What happened here?" Logan replied, "A girl who could heal souls gave her last breath so we could build something better. We honor her by not wasting it." And so the Union became known across systems, not as a power, not as a kingdom, but as a promise. A promise that broken people could become whole again, that enemies could become family, that one spark could light a future brighter than stars. Logan never asked for statues or medals. He only asked for a garden to be grown around Sayla's tree, a place where anyone, regardless of blood, name, or planet, could sit beneath the leaves and feel peace. Years passed, but Logan never left the moon. He became a story, a legend, a name whispered with respect and awe. Children would gather to hear about the man with the glowing hands who walked into the fire and came out with a song. But in truth, he was still the same man who once wandered alone with pain in his heart, still the soldier who had thought his life was over until a gentle alien girl reached out and showed him that even broken souls could shine, and sometimes in the early morning light, when the wind was still and the leaves sang softly. Logan would close his eyes and hear her voice in the wind. Not as memory, but as presence, as love, as light. Because Selah hadn't died. She had returned in every soul saved, in every heart healed, in every new spark lit. The soul returned. And it would never be lost again.